the blame. I've seen the world go down in flames. I felt the strain of every loss I can't reclaim. Our steps retraced from when we went our separate ways. I've missed these days. I never thought we'd see this place again. I know the feelings always fade, but nothing else can make me stay. It's not too late for us to slip away. I know the feelings always fade. It's not too late for us to slip away. I've walked this road, the one foretold would lead us home. Our fate's unknown, but time will mend our broken bones. I've held the weight of all these years spent in decay. These times are strange. I never thought I'd see your face again. I know the feelings always fade, but nothing else could make me stay. It's not too late for us to slip away.
Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's broadcast of Esports Tower Rumble in Overwatch. We are broadcasting it here from the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena, and it is time to wrap up our Esports Tower Rumble Week 3 Spring Rumble in Overwatch. Remember, this is the Rumble in Esports Tower being played on Overwatch 2 Scrim servers, so all the matches are going to be 5v5 with several rumored Overwatch 2 changes in-game. And tonight we will wrap up our group stage and finish it out with our grand finals to crown a Week 3 champion. I'm your host, Brenner Bear Ladd, and joined with me to call all of the action is Colby D'Angelo Alloway. And we've got an updated list of changes from last week, Colby, so we've got new Mercy passive. We have more details on kind of the cooldown changes. So what are you hoping to see change up in the roster and team composition?
So in terms of roster and team comp, I think it would be really, really nice if somebody pulled out a Doomfist just to see how that worked as a tank, because that's something we haven't seen in these past couple of weeks. And I think it's not necessarily because Doomfist isn't terrible, because on paper, he doesn't look terrible. I mean, the only changes are he's a tank now. He has 500 HP, which is 100 less than some of the other tanks like Winston and Reinhardt. But then he also has increased size, so he's not going to be as big as Winston or Reinhardt or as easy to hit either. So I definitely think Doomfist is a manageable tank, just maybe not into Sombra, who we have seen played quite a bit.
Yeah, she's really been the go-to for these changes. Another huge change is Bastion. His entire kit has been changed, and we haven't seen him once, especially since they got rid of his heal, so he's less sustainable, and now you have one less tank to protect him. Yes, he can move now, but you have to think it's maybe at a reduced rate or something. It's just something we have yet to see, so hopefully maybe that'll change things up. But from what we've seen so far of last week, it's been a very brawly meta.
Yes, we've seen lots of Reinhardt, and I mean, with your Reinhardt, you run a Lucio to speed him into things. It almost seems completely necessary to, if you're running that Reinhardt, have that Lucio to run him around.
Yeah, and with this being our Esports Tower Rumble, and now with Overwatch 2 rules, this is going to be a 5v5 with some workshop competitive. This is a best of 5 with some just all-around cool stuff. So seeing as this is new stuff means it's cool stuff. With the map order going control, escort, hybrid, because these are best of 3s. And for our first matchup, we're actually going to have the newcomer team of the Tornadoes taking on the Everest. And so a team we've never seen before is going to need all the help they can get, and they can get that through Doc's keys to the game. And in Overwatch, that is to never take a fair fight. But what does that mean? To take fights in unexpected places when they are unprepared, and of course, tempo, tempo, tempo. These are brought to us by the Esports Tower, where you can scroll for pro advice at esportstower.com, improve your game sense, improve your team play, and improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up. Well, as I mentioned, our first match of the night is the Tornadoes taking on the Everest, our two returning teams that we know and love of the Wolves and the Everest taking on the Cyclones, Tornadoes, and Tsunamis. We saw the Cyclones and the Tsunamis last week, but now Tornadoes are coming into this Rumble taking on the #1 team. What are you hoping to see from them to take down the champs?
So the Everest have been our #1 team in almost every Esports Tower Rumble we've done so far, and there are a couple of big reasons for that. One is individual mechanical skill. The Everest are almost unmatched when it comes to just individually being amazing at their heroes. And then the other thing that is really important for the Everests winning is the amount of aggression that they have. They are 110% all the time. They are in your spawn doors. They are camping you. They are not letting you set up. And so I think the biggest key to victory against the Everests would be, I mean, first of all, try to win that mirror matchup, but if you can't, you need to punish them for their over-aggressiveness, because you can almost bank that they will always push you, and you need to be ready for that, and you need to eliminate some people in rotation.
Yeah, so some really good keys to try to help the Tornadoes out, but we have yet to see them, so hopefully some surprises may come out, some maybe even, you know, like you mentioned, the Doomfist, and like I said, the Bastion, some new faces that can really just give us something new and exciting to talk about. Might change things up and even throw Everest for a loop, because this is new for everybody. Like we kind of coined, this is competitive testing and kicking things off on Ilios. Already we're seeing both the Bastion and the Doomfist.
Hey, that's exactly what we're looking for. I really hope Lyric stays on that Doomfist, because I am incredibly excited to see how that tank is going to play out. And again, just a reminder of the Doomfist tank changes, he is now obviously a tank. He has 500 HP, which is 100 less than Winston and Reinhardt. But his size has been increased, but again, not quite as big as some of the other tanks, as you can see him in that corner over there. And we have Bonesaw on the Bastion, who we've seen Bonesaw play Bastion to great effect in previous matchups. So we'll have to see if he can do that against the Tornadoes.
Yeah, Tornadoes also having a little bit familiar faces on their squad of a Diamond Dog and Panda squad. And the Everest still having their main core roster of Lyric and Bonesaw, Gambler, not Doomfist as well, but so far, nobody's really yet to take the point, but Bonesaw with the new Bastion getting a 2-piece onto both DPS and Gambler picking up triplet as well. Diamond Hog was able to secure the point though and take down Lyric. But now Tornadoes rotate over, get a 2-piece onto the Brig and the Hamster, and that's the point for them.
The Tornadoes don't really have a front line with this current comp right now, so it's actually, yes. So if the attacking team can get on that Ana with no front line and it's just up to her own positioning and maybe some Lucio peel, I think they can pick this up.
Yeah, so Doomfist, not noticeably that bigger, but has definitely been succeeding at the tank role so far, especially both support. Okay, so he's definitely a little bit bigger for that size comparison, taking up the whole doorway, as Tornado's actually picking up a lot of eliminations here with Bonesaw and Mapsy taking down the Wrecking Ball and the Echo. Early on, we saw both supports get eliminated. Right now, Tornado's doing very well.
Especially because of Bonesaw on that Bastion, I will say, has been a very, very big carry over here for the defender. They are 49% and climbing to 6% on the enemy team here. But going down one might change that.
Yeah, new Bastion ult coming out here. Unable to see it, just see the mortars coming down from the sky. Also, Mapsy going in, looking for that nice EMP, even right into their spawn. Even the poor Zenyatta doesn't get a chance to survive out of it on a 10-player kill streak, no less, as the rest of their squad just wiping out the opposing team.
This is that touch spawn door challenge that we were talking about. Just the levels of aggression are absolutely off the charts sometimes. And it really feels like Diamond Dog, besides that first kill and the elimination on the Lyric, they haven't really been able to get a foot. But with Panda Squad getting a huge pulse bomb onto Bonesaw, that might turn things around.
Yeah, and a great two-man EMP coming out from Mapsy. He gives them that little bit of an edge, but being down a team member, they're going to have to try to fight this rally coming out from the Brig of the Everett. Is finally getting a solid push onto Car as they get to that 99% going into overtime. So the Everett's have to just maintain this point hold as they do lose that Brig to Bonesaw on this Bastion. Seems the Bastion changes are just doing absolutely phenomenal right now. They're even able to take down Panda Squad as Gambler takes down the Hanzo. Now Bonesaw with a double taking down Diamond Dog as well. Lyric swapping over to that Wrecking Ball, knocking Triplet off the edge. That should finally be the point for them to swapping over. It'd be the end of first map one. Continuing the fight though, as Not Doomfist takes down the Brig.
They honestly got that back pretty quick. They only gave up an extra like 10% there. Phenomenal job overall. And I want to highlight specifically Mapsy on that Sombra, because they were just everywhere and exactly where they needed to be all the time. This is that Bastion ult that we were talking about, the 3 mortar shots. It didn't end up getting any eliminations, but it sure did look cool and was a little bit almost startling, like to hear those sounds and then something completely different than what we're used to popping out of the Bastion. So I hope we'll continue to see these new heroes that are played much less often, and it does look like we saw Bonesaw swapping off of the Bastion and Lyric swapping off of the Doomfist, but now KJ over there has swapped over to We've been taunted. They swapped over to the Tracer. Both sides running a Sombra, however, so it'll be up to those Sombras, I think, to be the big fight determiners with hacks and marks and EMP.
Yeah, and also the Everest supports have really been targeted. They usually get eliminated first time, and this time not going for the Zenyatta, who got taken down very quickly, and you can already see a little bit of the changes of whoever gets hacked has that purple eye above them, so the entire team can see wherever they are across the map. But KJ on this Tracer is going to get first blood against Lyric, quickly followed by Triplet, now on the break, taking down Gambler. Or Diamond Dog does lose his mech in the process due to Mapsy, but Avian's going to win on a 1v1, take down Not Doomfist, and Everest, once again, first ones to get the point.
Which is exactly what we're looking for, especially when they got that first round loss on Control here. And usually first fight is determinant of these Control maps. So we'll see if they're able to keep a hold of it with this massive defensive advantage that they now have.
Yeah, now Lyric even swapping over to the Winston and might give them the edge that they need. Very dive composition as Mapsy drops very low, but Bonesaw's going to get first blood of this team fight, taking down Triplet, quickly followed by KJ getting the revenge against Gambler. So each team is down a healer as Not Doomfist D-Mex Diamond Dog. Bonesaw can use his Rampage, taking down Panda Squad up to a double, and they secure the point, but it will cost them Not Doomfist as Mapsy takes down KJ.
And that prevents them from being as aggressive as they would really like to be. I mean, as you can see, Bonesaw's weak, Lyric's weak, and so they're taking a little bit of space, but they can't push that Baby Diva, and they can't push beyond that because they just have the Lucio healing, which is kind of keeping them at bay right now.
Sentence you thought you never would hear. They can't push a Baby Diva.
Absolutely correct, especially with that break there.
Ooh, great three-man. It's going to try to swing this fight in their favor, but Panda Squad was surviving way too long in that 1 HP as Triplet and even have to heal each other up, which will cost them. So now Lyric going to pick up 2, taking down Triplet as well, but Diamond Dog is going to be able to take down Gambler as well as Lyric. It seems the Divas coming in with a vengeance, getting a couple, but it's a brawl on point, bringing out the Blade as well to take down Avian as KJ takes down Doofus. Both Annas following back and forth as KJ even recalls in time to take down Bonesaw. This should be the Everest point, but Tornadoes are trying to just throw bodies on. A little too late.
I do need to highlight Panda Squad for that phenomenal hack onto the Blading Genji, because that just shut down all of Bonesaw's plans there. They're just like, ah, yes, I'm going to get the team kill Blade, and then they got hacked out of it. So they did end up just getting Avian on that Ana instead of the 3 or 4K that they otherwise would have got, diving into all of those squishies.
And also went for Genji Blade without Nano as Nano was online. So instead they're going to use it for this fight right onto Lyric on that Winston and bring out the sound barrier. Gets a triple for it. Make that a quad. They were looking for another, but seems instead they're just going to not even... There it goes.
Unable to find the remaining members who have just turned tail and ran after going down 4, which is completely understandable, and this point is going to flip. Now 63 to 67, that looks like. So still a very, very close game. A little bit less close as Bonesaw gets the elimination onto Panda Squad, and Mapsy picks up Avian. Yeah,
so already +2 in this fight, continuing their aggressiveness forward as Mapsy picks up the other support. So now no supports, just gonna go right into their spawn. Mapsy's looking for that EMP, but they have to leave their spawn first. Can't be that aggressive, so instead they're just gonna try to clear some space with the self-destruct. As you mentioned, that double EMP is gonna help them try to push forward. Bonesaw's even gonna bring out the Deadeye, and Lyric's gonna bring out the Primal Rage, but Everest just needed to try to get onto point. We'll pick up one onto Panda Squad, who did, I guess, get out of stealth. The elimination from the Primal Rage. Bonesaw gets another, and a clean victory for the Tornadoes.
And we were kind of expecting the team that first got on there to continue to hold, but they were just torn apart by the massive aggression coming out, especially from the Sombra, the Mafsy, and Panda Squad. They both did a phenomenal job. Something specific that I do want to talk about with the Sombras is how slow her ultimate charges now. So, like, it used to be you could charge an EMP in, like, one really, really good fight, and that is not the case anymore because hack and EMP does so many different things. Like, Sombra's hack now also marks a target, so everybody knows where they're at, and Sombra does additional damage to that target, which can sometimes feel really oppressive to go against a good Sombra.
Yeah, those Anas were getting really torn apart in the backline. Both the Brig and the Ana she has probably the highest single target damage now, besides maybe Echo and her beam, but her beam also requires them to be at half health, whereas Sombra can now just do it as soon as she hits her right click. So it's pretty a dominating ability. But heading over to a map 2, it has been decided on Route 66, my personal favorite. But with these changes, I still expect to see a strong Bastion coming out here with how well he performed on Ilios.
You're absolutely right. Bonesaw in particular did an amazing job on that Bastion, so they could pull it out on Route 66. It looks like
double sniper instead.
Yeah, and it looks like there are some pretty significant swaps on the sides of both teams, just kind of subbing people in and out. For the side of their Tornadoes, they now have Bladon and AME but they still have Mapsy on that Genji and no Bastion.
Ooh. Yeah, but First Blood's going to go over to the side of the Everest with Panda Squad taking down not Doomfist. Ame's just been untouched, raining out as many bullets as he can, but his team's just getting taken down with Blade on Gambler and Mapsy, all taken down by different members. Panda Squad does close that team fight out with a double, but this card's just been moving, and Tornadoes really just got taken apart there.
The defenders were way too split, and none of them could do anything to help the other, and so now they're swapping into double main healer, and with no distinct front line, it's Gambler and not Doomfist are going to have to do a lot of peeling for each other and position themselves very well. to not get eliminated.
Yeah, it's going to be playing around that immortality field, which is a big cooldown if it gets burned, but already Bladon's going to get that stun between the break, dropping to about half HP, but still surviving that 500 HP, paying off as Mapsy picks up one onto Avian, but now trading out with KJ, as well as Gambler taking down Panda Squad, then Chum and KJ picking up both Bladon and Gambler. Now AME with the Rockets takes down KJ, and Triplet finishes off not Doomfist. It's just huge trades across the board, with only one member of each team surviving. Diva able to come back in time, but Mapsy coming out of nowhere.
Triplet was super weak and living on a prayer there with like 2 bars of HP. So Mapsy just saw the opportunity and took it going onto that brig. And the Tornadoes really need to come up with something to defend this cart better, as now they're just throwing bodies on the point.
Yeah, being able to defend himself against Mapsy on that Tracer, as Bladon is able to demech Chum's Thumb. So they are at least plus half in this fight as soon as they lose Gambler. I would say they're down the main heals, but they do have not Doofus now on the Moira, bringing out the sights for AME, as well as Triplet with the rally to keep himself alive. But Mapsy is able to get the elimination onto Panda Squad. It seems Tornadoes are doing their best to hold him here, as not Doomfist also gets the elimination onto the Baby Divas. Chum's Bladon gets the elimination onto Triplet, AME finishes off Avian, and Mapsy even uses the Pulse Bomb to eliminate KJ now on the Soldier.
And the Everest have been knocked off the point, so now the Tornadoes can like afford to spread out and take the defense that they want. I would like to see Bladon go in early with that Doomfist, and then his healers be there to back him up with an immortality field and some healing in the middle of that, especially in this room. This would be a huge opportunity, and Doomfist is going to go in.
Yeah, so with not Doomfist getting the first elimination of the ball, as all Morars know you only throw right-click balls to get the elimination onto Panda Squad. This is a good start, but already it seems the Everest are just going to kind of back off after losing that one team member, and instead Tornadoes are going to take advantage and continue to push forward, getting an elimination onto Avian, as well as AME getting with a double onto Chum's Thumb. Mapsy's going to finish off Triplet as KJ does take down Bladon, who got a little bit over-aggressive, but another solid team fight for the Tornadoes.
The Tornadoes do have to back up a little bit just because they're down their main tank, and so I would really like to see the Everest come up with some ultimates while the Tornadoes are down their only tank.
This is the time to use them for sure, especially when they only have 2 ultimates now, just getting up to 3. But the Everest are holding on to 4 of their 5. Chum's Thumb even gets the elimination onto AME with the boosters, just charging into this space as Mapsy picks up Panda Squad once again. It's really the duel between Mapsy and Panda Squad again and again, bringing out the Coalescence for not Doomfist. Also caught out the Amplification Matrix, but was quickly eliminated with KJ in these sights, taking down both Gambler and Mapsy. Now AME bringing out his own sights to take down KJ as Bladon takes down Triplet. Still holding out against this checkpoint, bringing out the self-destruct as well as the double dragons, but no one's there to take it. AME says just going to get taken down by Avian as Bladon takes down Panda Squad. Chum's Thumb eating the Pulse Bomb from Mapsia as Avian takes down Bladon, as well as Gambler taking down Avian. It's huge trades across the board, but slowly going in the favor of the Everest. And of course, as soon as they say that, Gambler takes down Triplet. So they are down no supports in this fight, which will allow Mapsia to take down KJ and Chum's Thumb. Mapsy on this Tracer just being very uncontested. Now with Panda Squad swapping over to the Tracer himself off that Doomfist. It's just all out stall, and that's round 1 for the Tornadoes.
And what a round 1. There were a couple times where they wiped, but they were all able to just get back in time to continue to hold this. And they sometimes sustained and like backed up with only 4 members in the fight, and then it ended up winning the fight. And this fight in this closet was huge. We expected the Doomfist to be the big playmaker in that closet just because easy one-shot kill combo there. But it actually ended up being AME getting all the eliminations there, and there at the end you can see Triplet give up and go for the reset.
Yeah, Soldier 76 on Route 66 kind of coincides because 76-66 obviously totally planned, but he was really uncontested for a lot of the fight, and Mapsy was just going in on both Panda Squad and Avian again and again and again as this Tracer, and the Everest really struggling to find an answer for it. Definitely might have just cost him, unable to get to the first checkpoint, no less, from being the top dogs. Now this could just be the case of the Everest have a lot of new players on their team and have been working to try to build some synergy here, and the roster changes have definitely been hurting them here, but huge learning opportunities can bring them back and try to swing it in their favor. But with this being a best of 3, and if the Tornadoes win here, that means the Everest are out.
And the Everest are also missing some of their key members that they have had in weeks past just because of roster mix-ups and changes. Bonesaw, as we saw on first map, is actually now on the side of the Tornadoes as opposed to with some other members of the Everest. So that could be part of why they're struggling to adapt to this new team dynamic.
Yeah, and already some interesting team compositions of a Torb with the Widow and a Diva tank, and then on the side of the Tornadoes, it's Bladon with the Zarya, AME. It's pseudo everything, but it's still very much the Brawl meta.
I think this is... They're going to play it like a flank, though, right? Because AME and Mapsy definitely don't... They want to be within helping distance of the team, and with Avian getting that first elimination on not Doomfist, that's looking pretty good for the Everest.
Yeah, they're just holding on to Roof as tightly as they can. Finally, Bladon is up there and gets the elimination onto Avian. Not even fully charged Zarya, just beamed her down. So even Fi did lose a healer, but Tornadoes do have that spawn advantage. Panda Squad having yet to get that pick that he needs, as Bladon does end up getting that kill with the suicide, I believe from his right click at his feet. As Mapsy takes down the triplet, as well as AME taking down Panda Squad, not Doomfist finishing off the Baby Diva. This could be it. I mean, they've just been pushing the cart the whole time uncontested.
The Everests do have a shot here. They will be able to get some members on the point. Unlikely a full 6 before the fight begins,
full 5.
Especially if the or a full 5, excuse me, before the Tornadoes go in here.
May look like Overwatch 1, but these are Overwatch 2 rules just to confuse everybody. But KJ coming back, a huge 2-man elimination against Gambler and Mapsy. With this being 5v5, that's essentially half the team, as Panda Squad now takes down not Doomfist as well as Bladon. The Tracers have just been the huge playmakers in kind of this Overwatch 2 new rules.
How dare you sleep on that Torbjorn? KJ gave his team a shot with that double elimination immediately after that. Not to discount Mapsy and Panda Squad, but KJ definitely gave the Everest the shot they need to try to defend this, and Mapsy is going to win the duel of the Tracers there against Panda.
Yeah, Amy finishing off KJ. I mean, they're coming back with a vengeance and getting a lot of those picks that they need. Oh, bad timing on that blade, but he got what he needed. He, you know, the famous Genji needs healing. Did just sit there and wait for it. He's looking for Avian as well as he got the elimination. Ooh, ate the grab from Bladon, but Mapsy and AME not going to let them stop as they continue their rampage forward. Get the elimination on Avian, as I mentioned, as Gambler takes down KJ, AME takes down Chum's Fum. Everest are trying everything they can, but with the Coalescence out, Tornadoes take it.
Bladon really needed to land that grab, and they didn't let him do that. That was their big win condition, and they were unable to get it, because that could have turned the fight, even if you just get 2 people, especially now in the 5v5 versus the 6v6. If you get 2 in your grab, that's valid. That's a successful grab, especially if you can get the elimination. But alas, that was eaten by Diva in an amazing play.
I mean, the 2 DPS of the Tornadoes were going all out. They were hard carrying their team. Bladon was doing fantastically and did very well on the Doomfist on Ilios, which is why they probably did just that well. But the Everest really struggling. I mean, they had a lot of their highlighted moments. As you mentioned, the Diva eating multiple ults, definitely trying to do their best to hold their team together, but really rough time for the Everest. So now we'll have to wait and see how the Grand Championships are going to come out here, because it will be, I believe, the Tornadoes taking on the Cyclones, or is it the Tsunamis? Who won last week? Let us check.
I believe it was the Cyclones.
Well, no, we're not even going into the grand finals yet, because we have even more to decide of. Now it's going to be the Everest taking on the Tsunamis, and with the Everest just losing against the Tornadoes, I think the Tsunamis definitely have a chance.
I think they have more of a chance than they have ever had in the past against this new Everest team, just because lots of their people have been mixed up, and they're kind of trying to find a new team dynamic. And to be fair, all of the teams are trying to find a new team dynamic, right? We're now in 5v5. Everybody's been mixed up. Some of the players that we've seen do amazing combos together have now been split off, and so new combos are being made. So we're seeing a ton of individual play and popping off, and notably from, like you were saying, the Tracers, Mapsy and Panda Squad on the Tracers, but then also on the Sombra. So we saw a lot of Brawl in previous weeks, but this week we've been seeing a lot of flankers getting huge value.
Yeah, well, we have to wait and see how the match between the Everest and the Tsunamis is going to go down right after this quick break.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this week's broadcast of Esports Tower Rumble in Overwatch. We are broadcasting it here from the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena, and it is week 3 of our Spring Overwatch Rumble. We just saw the Everest suffer their first loss of the spring season, and now headed to regroup quickly in order to make the grand finals in our next upcoming and final group stage game between the Everest taking on the Tsunamis. And whoever wins this will head on to the grand finals. And I'm still your host, Brendan Bralad. Joined with me to call all the action is Colby D'Angelo Alloway. And so whoever wins this match will be heading on to take on the Tornadoes, who just had a huge victory against the Everest. So what are you hoping to see from each team to try to head into the grand finals and come out of it with a win against the Tornadoes?
So the Everest, I think, are struggling to find their team dynamic. They're also missing a few of their key players. Like we were talking about, Bonesaw has been moved over to the Tornadoes, and that has taken a massive toll on the Everest, as well as not Doomfist moving over as well. So the Everest are really just kind of like struggling to piece together new people and re-find that dynamic that has now moved over to the Tornadoes. So if we want to see the Everest continue to be the dominating team that they were before, I think we need them to focus on their team play. Like, we need them to do things together. And this is a 5v5, so everybody plays more spread out typically than the normal 6v6. But you need to be within, like, helping distance of your teammates, right? And when you're down 2, you need to reset the fight. We were just talking about it off screen a little bit about how these fights are super scrappy because people are just coming back as soon as they respawn, and nobody's really waiting for a full group before they go into the fight.
Yeah, we saw that in Ilios with Mapsy just sitting outside of spawn, and as soon as anyone came out, it was hack, go for damage, get the kill, turn around, finish off their front line, I guess, of whoever just wasn't coming out of spawn. So a just very brawl, pick 1v1 type of meta that we're seeing in our competitive testing that we've coined it as. But of course, with this being an Esports Tower broadcast, we want to take a moment and congratulate all of the Esports Tower Club members who have graduated from clubs and been offered scholarships across the country. Over the last 3 months, Esports Tower Club members have received over $1.6 million in scholarship awards. These students have not only worked hard on their in-game play, but worked hard academically and have earned these scholarship opportunities. We could not be more excited and proud to see all these opportunities these players are getting. Well, of course, with all these amazing scholarships, these players are going to need that little bit extra bump to help them take on the oncoming threat of the Tornadoes, and we can give it to them through Doc's Keys to the Game, and these are presented by the Esports Tower. But in Overwatch, it's to never take a fair fight. But what does that mean? And especially in Overwatch 5v5, that's going to be position your supports, tank and DPS move together, which is something that's been a little bit staggered, as well as know the new cooldowns, which is something we're even learning, and of course, tempo wins maps. And these are brought to us by the Esports Tower, where you can score pro advice at esportstower.com, improve your game sense, improve your team play, and improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up. Well, we're heading into our second match of the night of the Everest taking on the Tsunamis, and with map 1 going to be Li Zhang.
And just like in Doc's Keys to the Game mentioned, you need to make sure your DPS move with your supports move with your tank, excuse me, because your tank doesn't have an off tank to cover them, but you still can't just jump in and 1v5. So this is a new dynamic that lots of teams are working on, getting their DPS in the same spot as their tank.
Yeah, and already some interesting team comps here with the Tsunamis not deciding to go for the Sombra, instead going for the Reaper Sombra instead of the Symmetra, sorry, and the Everest going for the Symmetra, but also the new Bastion.
We're seeing lots of that Bastion that you were talking about. Avian has so far been unable to get any eliminations just because he's been unable to set up. Blank is going to get moved off the edge, as well as Mango and Sweatpants going down to Panda Squad. Panda Squad's just popping off on that Symmetra. And KJ is going to pop up with an elimination onto Lukey, and that is fight over for the Tsunamis.
Yeah, Everest even changing up their comp a little bit with now Diamond Dog and KJ on the support roles, Avian and Panda Squad on the DPS, and Chum Fum still on that tank role, but Tsunamis now bringing in Lukey and Mango for the support. Hurts, Dark, Blank on the DPS, and Sweatpants on the tank. I mean, Everest once again changing up their roster, really trying to find what works for them.
I would really like to see this Junkrat be positioned with Sweatpants and possibly with a Mercy Pocket and just get a ton of damage once we get onto the point and walk onto them.
Yeah, he's got to be that artillery piece.
Absolutely
Instead, he's
not.
just going to get taken down by the literal artillery piece that is the new Bastion, as Avian gets the elimination onto Dark of that Junkrat, as well as
See
Lukey
moving.
the Ana. Seems that Everest have really found their groove with Panda Squad and Avian on these DPS roles as Chalice Fum takes down Blank and Avian takes down Sweatpants.
You can see Avian moving around, locked in that turret. It's kind of funny, actually, because, like, the model doesn't move because that's not the important part. You just need to get that movement with the turret. So Avian's just kind of sliding around as a turret, putting massive amounts of damage into the Tsunamis.
Yeah, they may have the updated abilities, but not the updated animations yet, so he'll just be kind of skating around on the field, as we did see that one elimination just to stagger them out that much more. Tsunami's having a real issue trying to find an opening here as the teleporter is set up, so it's just going to be teleporting Bastion, but he doesn't need the teleporting anymore. He can just move on his own.
We were talking about how Dark could maybe be a big deal on that Junkrat, but because the Everests are taking fights in these open places where Dark can't get into melee range or the effective Junkrat range, he's just been hard countered so far.
Yeah, so now Panda Squad going to bring out the wall, as well as just a plethora of ults with the Amplification Matrix, the Sound Barrier, and KJ getting first blood against Dark. Tsunami's never touched the point since the first fight, and even in after slow-mo time, still just getting eliminated.
Still barely touched. They did touch at least, though. They couldn't close the distance. With that Bastion Avian, they couldn't even get close. Chum's Fun was running around disrupting them and defending Avian, but especially because KJ was right there with that Bastion, the Tsunamis had no approach beyond this first fight.
Well, it seems the Everest have really brought it back after facing the Tornadoes previous match, so it seems they want to get kind of their revenge matchup in the grand finals, as this is the last stage of our group stage. So heading into kind of the more open side of Lijiang, no one's really going for boobs. I mean, we could see it from the Lucios. They got there as quick as they could, but instead going for teleporter.
Like Dark versus Panda Squad and Avian, both on that Symmetra and Bastion, and D.Va as the main tank. This is a complete mirror matchup, and with Avian going down first, that might spell doom for the Everest.
Oh, quick beat trading out as Panda Squad takes down Blank, so it's been 1-for-1 so far. Both immortality fields go down. Instead, KJ's going to try to swing the fight in their favor, taking down Mango, as well as Panda Squad taking down Dark. Now Diamond Dot taking down Sweatpants, Chum's Fum taking down Lukey. Finally, like, clean engagement and a hard reset.
And this is one of the first times we've seen the D.Va as well in that tank slot, and especially against that, against and with that Bastion, I think it's huge because D.Va is one of those heroes that you pull out just because of her ability to eat infinite amounts of damage when they have a Bastion, and so a lot of people were concerned about whether or not D.Va would have a spot, and it definitely looks like she does, especially as the Everests are winning with D.Va.
Yeah, and Tsunamis really love their Junkrat, but this time now Junkrat's on the Blank and Sweatpants is bringing out the Rhine, but huge ultimate usage, not even at 30% before they were brought out, with Panda Squad bringing out the wall and KJ bringing out the Amplification Matrix is going to lead to the elimination of Sweatpants, but Blank is able to take down KJ. Hey, so lose your only tank for the main support the Everest are still looking very positive here until the Tsunamis come back and get a 2-piece onto Panda Squad, and Chum is fun, so that's DPS and tank down. Now your secondary support as well. Tsunamis should be able to take this point as long as they get, there you go.
Yep, there we is. We got all the members on. That is 54% for the Everest and 4% in climbing for the Tsunamis. Blank was finally able to close the distance on the Junkrat, and that's exactly what you need to do. And with that Lucio speed, that's definitely going to help them. And Blank really just needs to follow Sweatpants and Mango around and see what close range damage we can do. They're wisely staying inside the point as well.
Yeah, I'm very curious how the Bastion ult works inside of that point as it is indoors.
Yeah.
Like, how does that work? I'm very curious to see how this might play out, especially with Avian staying on it. But instead, we won't see anything from him as he is eliminated by a 2-man tire from Blank, also taking down KJ as Luki eliminated that immortality field. Must have just been thrown barely out of range, but it seems Blank on this Junkrat is showing Dark how it's done, as now Diamond Dog with the boop onto Mango, showing how to play the Lucio. Now the amplification matrix coming out for the Tsunamis as well as the sound barrier from Diamond Dog. Panda Squad just going in, gets a double, also taking down the amplification matrix. Sweatpants is just going to go charging off the edge, at least takes that Chum as fun, but now no tanks on either side. Will be in the favor of the Everest just because they had huge plays there. And now Panda Squad finishing off Mango, one surviving member as Panda Squad takes down Dark.
I think that was a little bit of a misplay on that Ryan Shatter. Charging off the map is definitely not what you should do. You could have demeched the D.Va and gotten the double elimination on the other 2 shattered people, but instead you went flying off the map, and I think it's going to cost them, the Tsunamis, some percent here.
I mean, we were unable to see how that Bastion worked as it was even fought off point, but Everest going to come away with a clean teamfight engagement, and as the Everest did also commit the amplification matrix to zone out the Tsunamis running out of time.
They do have the EMP though, which could be huge, and they have the possibility to use an aggro beat or the beat for the blade. And Diamond Dog getting the boop on the Sweatpants.
Ooh,
that's looking
5-man
pretty
EMP
good
as well as the elimination of the Avian comes out, but Panda Squad with the blade's going to pick up too, as Luki just has to jump off the edge to go for maybe more of a reset, but Tsunamis couldn't afford it, and that will be Lijiang Tower for the Everests.
They jumped off for the reset, but there was no time for the reset just because it was 99, and that was their only fight. Panda Squad. The EMP landed onto everybody seemingly except for Panda Squad, who was able to pull out that blade, and that ended up spelling doom because sound barrier was used just before that, so couldn't be used reactively for the blade. So they just won that fight.
Yeah, Everest have really brought it back. It seems Lijiang Tower's just very much their map, or maybe there's just this new team comp of they've been changing out a lot of players and changing out even the roles. So maybe some people have preferred roles and just forced into others to make compensation for other players. We don't know, but Everest really coming back and showing kind of why they were the top team beforehand. But with map number 2 being decided on Blizzard World this time around, so now we're going from Escort to Hybrid as map 2. Blizzard World is not a map we have seen with Overwatch 2 meta yet, so what are you hoping to see from the team comps?
So the Tsunamis like to run the Brawl comps, they like to run the Junkrat, they like to run the Reinhardt, and they're going to struggle a little bit with that on First Point Blizzard World, and it actually looks like they have just swapped. They still have that Junkrat, they still have Dark, and it looks like the Everest are still with that Bastion, but now with Diamond Dog on that Mercy as well, and Panda Squad on that Pharah. I would be curious as to why they wanted the Ana over the Baptiste, especially for the Bastion.
Maybe because he could move now and wouldn't stay inside of the immortality field? Maybe? This is my only guess, but right now, Everest just having free reign of the skies, taking down Dart from underneath the cover, even on point. Now also taking down Blank, no DPS on point, and now down your main heals with only the two remaining members. That's practically a team wipe if you ask me. Just respawns were off, and in one main fight, the Everest have taken the point.
Panda Squad's popping off on that Pharah, and he very well should, considering it was May Junkrat, and there was absolutely nothing they could do except for maybe Sweatpants to have landed a hook that first point. But now we see almost an entire team swap coming out, and Blank is now getting huge value on that Hanzo, especially going for Diamond Dog after that Mercy.
Yeah, they learned their lesson. Take control of the skies and take down that pharmacy. Sweatpants also gets the elimination against KJ. Blank is able to even D-mech Chump is fun. So it is a little bit trade so far, but as soon as Tsunamis just gave up first point, they've just been able to hold at this archway. Finally, Panda Squad's able to take down Blink after losing the baby Diva. It will never get weird to not see just moving Sentry.
The moving. Because everything else about the animation looks so stationary, but he's just sliding across the ground.
And you have to remember, they also changed his just basic attack to where it's semi-automatic, so it fires as quick as you, or it fires as fast as you can click. So I'm very curious how accurate that has been for the players, but Panda Squad's going to get the elimination against Blank as Dark now in the Cole Cassidy takes down Diamond Dog. The solo barrage for Lukey. That's a statement as he gets taken down by Sweatpants. Mango's able to res Blank back. Chose not to res Lukey of the main heals, which I find very interesting as Blank gets the elimination on the Avian, stopping the cart push.
Blank has been doing a phenomenal job on this Hanzo. I would really like to see Blank not get over aggressive and value their life more than the eliminations, because when they're alive, they're popping off and winning fights. It's just an issue of keeping them that way, I think.
Yeah, we do see Chamaswam able to take down Sweatpants with Blank taking down Panda Squad. Yep. But neither res from either Mercy has ever been contested so far. It's been very much of, we're not too worried about it, we'll let it go through. Now the artillery form, as I'll probably coin it at this point, the animation's a little bit different. He is pointing straight up, but I'm so curious what that looks like nowadays. Of just, is it the giant AoE or something? But interesting changes as Blank takes down KJ on that Ana as the Valkyrie comes out. Another uncontested res for Diamond Dog, bringing back the Ana. And now even getting the elimination against Sweatpants. That was a very well-placed res as Panda Squad taking down Lukey. Double Dragons coming out from Blank from behind to try to deny the cart push. As Mango reses Sweatpants and KJ gets the elimination with the nade against Blank. And also the double against Dark. I guess Ana's a DPS now.
I think these very, very scrappy, very spread out fights are really...
quad.
Oh my gosh!
That's an Ana Penta, I guess. Okay. KJ on an Ana, new main.
KJ on the Ana, battle Ana, doing a fantastic job. None of those were assisted either. That was just KJ popping off on that Ana.
No one respecting Ana's damage, I guess. Something never thought I would say, but sure, I'll take it.
Ooh, Blank got there through some amazing plays by Panda Squad, hitting all of their shots on either side of Blank, and there was just nowhere to run, as Avian is going to get res, which might put a wrench in the Tsunami's plan just a little bit here, but with Panda Squad still in the backline, they have a shot.
Panda Squad just playing very risky, not even having the Pocket Mercy for all that, and still managing to survive. Well played. But now it's going to,
there's the barrage.
Not a solo barrage this time at least, is able to take down Dark and Mango, which is huge, but Blank quickly evening things out, taking down that Pharmacy Wombo combo. Now the artillery form is going to come out for Avian, and also we have two Avians. Okay, there was two Avians for a second, but that must have been a glitch in the UI, as Blank is able to demech Chummins and take down Avian as well. This might be a reset for the Everest, but with how brawly this is, they're not going to let it die as Diamond Dog gets the res on the Avian uncontested. This fight's still going.
Blank can't get a good angle, immediately gets eliminated by that Bastion. You still don't want to look at a Bastion. He only has turret for 10 seconds, but it's still a very scary 10 seconds as both Sweatpants and Blank are just melted in the face of Avian.
Yeah, Avian able to take down Dark as well as Lukey finally is able to take down Panda Squad, but Diamond Dog is going to bring out the Valkyrie to keep his teammates alive as KJ brings out the Nano, so Avian's just going to go ham with it and get a triple, make it a quad. Can he make it the penta? And KJ's going to take it.
And, you know, we saw KJ popping off earlier, so this is just, and then Avian ended up, or Panda Squad ended up with a final elimination after after KJ popping off. So it really just feels like all members of the Everest are putting a very vested effort into eliminating the Tsunamis here.
Yeah, and it paid off for them. They got all three, or both checkpoints and first point, but they got first point within the first fight. Now, it was a very bit longer fight, and Panda Squad got taken out pretty much right out of spawn gate, and so the res had to be used, but Tsunami's just unable to really bring it back since then. They held him around the first checkpoint for a pretty decent amount of time, but once this cart kept going on the second and final point, they just really couldn't stop it. Panda Squad was having a huge field day on indoors, which is something you never think you would say as Farah indoors just excelling at her job. So Tsunamis, what are you hoping to see from them on the defense to really bring it back?
I think
Or on offense now, sorry.
I think both of these Mercies have, in general, been getting a lot of value just because of the nature of the scrappy fights. Like, there's always people for a Mango or a Diamond Dog to fly to, and especially with that blue beam and this being focused on an eliminations meta, they're both doing a phenomenal job on that Mercy of doing exactly that and supporting their whole team. Like, a bunch of people were worried about whether or not Mercy would still be playable in Overwatch 2 just because, I mean, her passive was given to everybody else, but I think she's still in a really, really good place for Overwatch 2 if this is what Final Mercy ends up looking like.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, this has just been a total, like, bloodbath. So having her res being able to bring back, like, the one and only tank is huge for kind of just game-changing fight, as we do see how kind of the new left click of the Bastion works. Maybe it's just
not able to click
Yeah.
very fast there. That semi-auto Bastion overall does a lot less damage in that just normal shooting form. Can't shoot as fast, but the turret is
his
still
turret
there.
form also now has 1,000 bullets, so that means he
Oh my
doesn't have
God.
to reload, which is
is
something.
good.
Yeah, something we did not know. We haven't seen his grenades yet either. Maybe that's been his huge damage up since his basic auto attack no longer does as much damage, but turret form dealing a ton of damage. They're able to demech Sweatpants. No elimination just yet. Okay, so that was the grenade. Is just a little orange ball that kind of lobs out. I wonder how much damage it does.
And if you'll notice, any time that you don't use in turret form is like clocked over to the next one. So we see he has 3 seconds remaining, and then immediately as you turn back, that timer starts going back up. So if you don't use all of your time, you can kind of like use like turret form comes back faster.
So it seems it's kind of like a fixed thing. It doesn't reset based off the cooldown. It's based off of how much time there is, and it's just slowing built up over time. All right. So, but a Roadhog tank now with the Nano gets taken down by Avian, who did get antied as well with 19 health and survives. Whoa! This is new. He's just
So
a flying
that's what
tank
that looks
form.
like. Oh my gosh! Hides himself in a corner. I am blessed that we got to witness that.
Yeah, because that was nothing like what they showed in the video for his updated form of he was an actual like mortar, drove around and had like the giant AoE circle, but do what you can with Overwatch 1 and it paid off as he gets the elimination against Blank on that Ashe. Tsunami's really having a tough time trying to attack this point with Evers just capitalizing, having control of the skies with the pharmacy and Bastion on the ground.
I almost think that it might be time for perhaps a Lucio and to just try to run into them and see what you can do. Because none of their hit scan have been able to find any value, especially
The quad?
against Farah.
Oh, that's
my
a team
gosh.
kill for Panda Squad. All right.
Somebody's got to do something about that Farah. And Blank and Dark have so far, even with the pocket, been unable, like Panda Squad's been uncontested just because everybody is also so concerned about Avian putting huge amounts of damage on the ground. At this point, the Tsunamis might want to swap their comp and try to win the ground battle before the Farah can do anything.
Yeah, they're definitely having a split target prioritization, trying to focus on the skies, but Bastion slept. Could be the leg up that they need for just a little bit, but instead the Valkyrie and the self-destruct is going to come out.
Oh my gosh.
But consistently, again and again, Blank has been taken out first in these team fights. Now Sweatpants finally able to take down Avian, but Panda Squad being uncontested in the skies gets a 2-piece against multiple members of Tsunamis. Now also Diamond Dog with the Battle Mercy. Let's go, taking down Mango, as well as Chamas Fum getting revenge onto Sweatpants. I definitely think they should take your advice at this point. Try to win one of the two skies or grounds, and they just haven't been able to do that yet. Also, Blank getting eliminated every first time.
Which is not helpful, especially
Not at
because he
all.
was their carry before. Or even Sweatpants could go over to the Sigma and attempt to shield off as much Farah damage as he possibly could. That would be another option for them. But they're not trying
Nano?
any of these. They're just still walking in with the same thing.
Nano the Diva and just let Avian and Panda Squad get all the eliminations as they should, as KJ wins the 1v1 against Luki. He and Panda Squad takes down Mango. The solo barrage attempt to hold them at spawn buys not much time in the Everest. A clean 2-0.
Panda Squad was completely uncontested on the Farah. And there are a couple of options for that. And running double hit scan, by the way, two pocketed hit scans were after Panda, and Panda did not get eliminated one, except for that last time in the barrage, just as we were losing, just as we were going out of the match.
Bought
Panda
the
got
time she
eliminated.
needed, yeah.
So, but they never had the opportunity to push because Panda had uncontested control of the air. And if your DPS aren't getting the shots on the Pharah and don't have the space to respond to that Pharah, at that point, it's time to change something in your tank lineup, right? And some options that could have worked were like Sigma to try to shield off the Pharah. That's something that's been used to great effect. Or even a D.Va, because D.Va's whole point is to eat spam. And the whole problem they were having with Panda is spam and eliminations and things like that. So I really just think that Roadhog might not have been the play.
Maybe just wanted to try out his new health pool of the extra like 50 health he got, but didn't really pay off. So now the Everest are going to head back into the grand finals.
Rematch?
It's going to be the rematch of the century, so maybe this new team comp is the leg up that they need. So we'll have to wait and see, but you'll have to stick around and wait and see and enjoy these messages we have for you.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this broadcast of Esports Tower Rumble in Overwatch. We are broadcasting here from the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena, and we are on to our one final match left in our Week 3 of the Spring Rumble. It's the Tornadoes who took down the Everest in the group stage, but can they do it again in a best-of-5 for the grand finals? I'm your host, Brenna Bear-Ladd, and join with me calling all of the action is Colby D'Angelo Alloway. It's the rematch. We just saw Tornadoes take down the Everest in group stage, as I previously mentioned, and now They're at it again in the grand finals, but this time in a best of 5. So what are you hoping to see from the Everest now that we've seen them a little bit more play, changing up their roster again, now taking on the Tornadoes? What are you hoping to see?
I'm super excited that we get to see this rematch, first of all, just because it's the Everests going against 2 big players that used to be on the Everests. So it feels like there's a lot of history between some of these players. And I think if the current Everests want to go up against and beat previous Everest's crown jewel Bonesaw, I think they're going to have to counter the Bastion. I think they're going to have to counter all of these unexpected things that Bonesaw is going to be looking to do, because that is a crowning piece in Bonesaw's overall play style. They like to do unexpected things, and so it'll be up to the Everests to be on high alert for whatever Bonesaw is going to pull out.
Yeah, and if you can't get Bonesaw, get not Doomfist, because he's the backline keeping him alive. Right. And so the Everests are going to really need all the help they can get, and we can provide it to them through Doc's keys to the game. And now they are updated for Overwatch 2 in these 5v5 meta, and that's going to be position your supports. The tank and DPS need to move together. And of course, know the new cooldowns, because it can throw you for a loop. And of course, something we've touched on again and again and again is tempo wins maps. And these are brought to us by Esports Tower, where you could score pro advice at esportstower.com, improve your game sense, improve your team play, and improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up. Well, this is the grand finals of the Week 3 Spring Rumble, with the Tornadoes taking on the Everests, and with map 1 being Busan.
And usually these control point maps, in some games, it's whoever wins first fight is probably who's going to end up winning the map. But actually, in the Everest versus the Tsunamis beforehand, that wasn't the case. It would be the Everests that popped up and won a fight, but then they'd lose the overall map to the Tsunamis. So I think the Everests are going to have to consistently win those fights and take them when they have all 5 of their members, right? Because that's the common thing that was enabling them to win all of these first fights, but then they never full reset and had a whole group before they went into all the staggered fighting the Tsunamis again throughout the rest of the point.
Yeah, and it seems that the Tornadoes really excel at that 1v1, as you touched on Bonesaw just popping off again and again. So I think the Everests can definitely probably come away with a win here if they go for more of that traditional Overwatch 1 of clean reset, team fight, rather than consistent just throw your bodies at them and try to win the 1v1s, because Bonesaw will 90% of the time run away with a victory there. Exactly. So it is time for our Week 3 grand finals between the Everests and the Tornadoes. The Everests have come into the grand finals as the underdogs for the first time. Will they get revenge on the Tornadoes, or will we crown a new Rumble champion? Let's wait and see as we take a look at these rosters, which the Reaper and Tracer is pretty traditional for Busan, but a Bastion May?
Bastion May, I think the point is the Everests want to take the fight in melee range. They want to walk into you and they want to brawl. And their comp is very good for that. But so's Bonesaw on that Reaper.
Yeah, picking up first blood against Avian, really denying the capabilities of the new Bastion, as AME is also able to pick up Diamond Dog on that Lucia. With Bonesaw finishing off KJ on the Baptiste, as well as Judge taking down Bonesaw with the charge pin. But no one having yet to really capture the point, because Overwatch is an objective game, guys. It's not about just who spills the most blood here on this mecha base.
I think the Everest's biggest problem there was they didn't get huge value out of the Mei wall. You want to use the Mei wall to split the team and ideally get an elimination, and we didn't really see any of that last fight.
Yeah, now Gambler is able to get first blood against Avian and also charge up the Primal Rage, now with 1,100 health, not just 1,000. Amy is able to take down KJ, though, so Tornado's having a very commanding lead in this team fight. Amy getting the double, taking down Judge as well. Will finally get taken down by Avian, as not. Doomfist takes down Panda Squad on that Mei, up to 30%, as Bonesaw even takes down Diamond Dog, and Gambler getting a little too overly aggressive, gets taken down by Avian.
Huge anti-nade coming out on all 5 members.
The Nano Death Blossom gets a triple. The Mei has to Ice Block just to survive and still gets taken down. That's a Penta.
That's
for Bonesaw.
full team wipe for Bonesaw with the assist of Not Doomfist. That nanoed Beyblade definitely helped him out there, and especially with the anti-nade. It really feels like there is nothing the Everest could have done.
It's the
to stop
two-man
that
wombo
team wipe.
combo. It's just been the go-to for the winning condition of now Bonesaw also getting another double against Panda Squad and Diamond Dog. Yeah, they lost Amy at the start of that team fight, but Bonesaw doesn't care. It's not going to stop him from getting now a triple, taking down Judge.
We do see Avian swapped over to the Cole Cassidy, which is a swap that I like a lot, especially against Bonesaw on that Reaper. Because you get the flashbang and then you get the double headshot, and then you immediately get the elimination. And, you know, eliminate Bonesaw, win game. That's what the Everests are looking for here.
Or maybe not Doomfist, and that eliminates his heals, but he's on the Reaper, so he has the self-healing. So it has to be not Doomfist. So
That's a pretty good start.
yeah, Everest getting +1 in this fight, taking down Amy, forcing out 3, now 4 ults. Shatter onto only Gambler and Bonesaw. Cannot even get the elimination from that really good shot. Header, now it's just an all-out brawl here as not Doomfist gets the next elimination, trading out as he gets eliminated by Judge after taking down KJ. Now Gambler and Bonesaw picking up 2 more. No DPS for the side of the Everest. Now Judge able to pin AME, but Bonesaw takes him down, and Gambler taking down Diamond Dog. This might be just map 1 for the Tornadoes.
That's the other thing the Tornadoes are doing. It's not just not Doomfist that's pocketing Bonesaw really hard. It is also Lyric. We saw Lyric use a whole Transcendence just right beside Bonesaw and body block for Bonesaw against the nade. And 90% of the time, if the orb is on anybody, it is on that Bonesaw. I mean, in this play, it was on the Winston because the Winston was taking a lot of damage and Lyric was getting the eliminations. But Bonesaw is so hard-pocketed by his Ana and his Zenyatta, he really feels unstoppable at this point.
Yeah, Tornadoes are just essentially playing Protect the President, which is Bonesaw, and then he'll just carry us to victory. So the Everest need to just say, all right, we need highest single target damage as possible, which is, I'm surprised.
Sombra.
Exactly. I'm surprised we haven't seen a Sombra from them yet, because that would shut down Bonesaw perfectly. Everyone can see him. They get double damage, essentially, the extra 50% against him. It's kind of the go-to solution, and they just haven't brought it out yet.
I liked that Cole Cassidy pick. Maybe a Sombra and maybe a Cole Cassidy against this Reaper because... Or the
Flashbang
Pharah.
Hank burn him down.
Yeah. The Pharah is also a good shot because what's he going to do against a... Apparently that, I guess. Like, what's a Reaper going to do against the Pharah? Eliminate him and his Pocket Mercy. Like, okay, Bonesaw, that is not typically how that matchup happens.
Yeah, Everest trying to stay in this fight with Avian
got
getting a
him.
two-piece now on the Tracer, no longer committing to the Bastion shenanigans. But with Baby Diva trying to take down the new Winston, not gonna allow. Okay,
Oh,
that was a bit of a
Dog.
cheeky res to go for that Diamond Dog, quickly taken down by Amy now on the Tracer as Avian is able to take down not Doomfist, but Gambler comes back, takes down KJ, who trades out with him. But Amy on this Tracer is just going to continue to get those eliminations. Now, no DPS remaining for the side of
Bonesaw
the
was just
Everest.
emoting, and so Diamond Dog went ahead and Battle Mercied him.
We love the Battle
With the help
Mercy.
of Judge. We love to see that special. That's the punishment we were talking about. There it is. But Diamond Dog's going to get eliminated, and that is less of a fight for the Everest here.
Yeah, Everest just continuing to brawl on the point. No one having yet to take control over it and build a percentage. It's just been nothing but brawl. And now even the pulse bomb coming out and the self-destruct. That's 2 ultimates before the point hasn't even been taken.
Oh my
and with
gosh.
a triple for the side of the Tornadoes, and Diamond Dog with another very ballsy res for him. Gonna get denied by Amy, and finally the Tornadoes are gonna be able to cap it.
I think that the Everest at this point, maybe Mercy isn't going to do it for him. Because Diamond Dog is getting absolutely terrorized by that Tracer, which is no BM to Diamond Dog. Tracers will typically do that. But at some point, you've got to swap to maybe a Brig.
But Brig would be a fantastic go-to, as she hasn't had the updates yet, other than she just has passive regen, so would be a great swap. But Bonesaw's gonna ended up trading out, able to take down Diamond Dog, but get taken out by Judge. Now Gambler taking down Panda Squad, looking to try to even things out here, but now a great nano onto Amy. He's gonna get the elimination onto KJ. Also not Doomfist picking up one onto Judge. The pulse bomb is gonna come out from AME and end up missing, as not Doomfist gets a double, because, you know, battle on it.
Lyric is insane on this Zenyatta also. Like, we talk about not Doomfist a lot, but I think Lyric is doing just as much on that Zenyatta, and hopefully they don't go down right as I say this.
Oh, let's go!
Sleep!
That's a huge plus for the Evers able to sleep. They do lose Diamond Dog in the process, but they're right next to spawn, so how much did you lose in that fight? Pulse Bomb did come out from Avian and pick up Lyric there, so now Diamond Dog's just going to come right out of spawn with the Valkyrie to try to come back as quickly as possible. I mean, Panda Squad, as soon as he went to the Cole Cassidy, gave his team exactly what they needed. That flashbang was beautiful.
And Panda Squad is also a DPS that Cole Cassidy is truly fearsome in the hands of, but its Gambler is just going to jump in with the support of both of his healers and his Tracer and get Diamond Dog finally gets a res, but immediately gets eliminated for it.
As they should be.
And absolutely, and especially with that
triple
Zenyatta assist on all of that, that was Discord after Discord after Discord, just following where AME was at. It feels like the Tornadoes have a team dynamic that the Everest just cannot match right now.
Exactly. Protect the president. Bones up. But AME, towards the end, just completely owned it. Yeah.
Tearing the team apart on that Tracer, especially. And with... So, Zenyatta Tracer is a duo that not many people typically think about. Like, you think about Far Mercy, you think about, like, Cole Cassidy Mercy or Ana Genji. But Tracer Zenyatta is also a really big DPS support matchup that is huge and gets huge value because you just Discord and the Tracer one clips and you do that repeatedly. And so we watch Lyric and AME do that whole second point. I would actually say that AME on that Tracer did more work than Bonesaw on the Reaper that final point.
Oh, for the final point, for sure, Bonesaw had map 1 of Mecha Base, and then AME says, all right, I'll show you how it's done on point 2. And he did it, and it was perfected amazingly. I mean, at the same time, I want to highlight the Ana for the Everest. That sleep onto Bonesaw, canceling out his Death Blossom, it was like, all right, you did lose the map, but... it was pretty cool. Like, come on now. Like, yeah, he was able to take down Diamond Dog, who was being a very cheeky Mercy. Like, they were going for reses they shouldn't have. They went Battle Mercy and got an elimination, which is like, as much as I respect a Battle Mercy as a Battle Mercy player, like, come on, man.
Okay, to be fair, Diamond Dog, or not Diamond Dog, Bonesaw was emoting on the point. I don't know if there is a better time to Battle Mercy than the Reaper slow clap on the point.
Yeah, it was rightfully deserved, but with how many cheeky reses they went for, it's like, you knew you weren't going to get that. AME was right behind you, like, okay. And then also just committing to the Mercy the entire time. Not got one res that whole second map. Probably should have swapped off of it. Would have been advantageous, but heading into map 2, and it is going to be Numbani?
Numbani, yes.
Numbai? What? It's fine. English is fine. But double Tracer, sticking with the Winston. Gambler on this Winston has also been a huge threat, and already double out the gate. All right.
Bonesaw and AME are already in your backlines together on your supports. Diamond Dog, doesn't matter if they're not on the Mercy. They cannot live against the Bonesaw AME duo.
They just have the target prioritization of 2 DPS go together. Lyric throws his heal onto probably AME because Bonesaw can just heal off of dealing damage. Panda Squad's got to meet him, though. It's going to be the Tracer and Reaper battle here.
So the main differences in the comp are their tanks are different. We have Monkey on the side of Tornadoes, which gives them more of a front line, but we have Chum's Fun, which gives them a bit more high ground control on that Diva. And then we have Baptiste over Zenyatta. So the Tornadoes have a lot more damage, but the Everest have more sustain. But that sustain isn't helpful if not Doomfist is just going to snipe out your Baptiste.
I mean, it's that +1 DPS of, hey, Ana can help too, as Bonesaw takes down Diamond Dog. Diamond Dog is also one of those players we've traditionally seen as a tank player. Now in the support role, definitely might be an uphill battle for them, but they've had the side of KJ to help them out as well. But Everest still looking for a clean team fight re-engage, whereas the Tornadoes is constant harass from spawn.
I think the Monkey is getting more value than the Diva is getting just because his dives are successful. The rest of his team is there to come up. And that Diva, she's really struggling to even get back in match.
Ooh, the Nano. Oh, even got quickly taken down with the Nano, no less. So Panda Squad showing Bonesaw how it's done. And another great stick taking down Gambler. Panda Squad able to take down that Doofus. AME is able to get the refrag onto KJ, but you are +2 in this fight. This is where you want to take the point if they can get the elimination to AME. But out of nowhere, Lyric comes flying from the high ground with the Transcendence to keep AME alive in this fight, and they get the elimination onto Diamond Dog. Now, Bonesaw is back, takes down Panda Squad. AME takes down Chumma's Farm after demeching from Bonesaw. Lyric takes down Avian. 3 members pushed back the entire team of the Everests.
The Everests got 2 takes out of that, so it wasn't all for naught, I really must say. And they also got Tranquility and almost all the other ultimates out from the Tornadoes, but they do still have Death Blossom, and AME was able to charge another Pulse Bomb. There's the Death Blossom coming out onto both supports.
Brutal, but he is finally taken down by Avian on that Tracer, so Everest could try to go for a pseudo push here since they do have spawn advantage with their 2 healers, but with Bonesaw being, swapping over to the Soldier. He gave up the Reaper life. No longer an edgelord.
We will probably see Bonesaw on that high ground trying to get eliminations and then running in wherever he can to get the eliminations on the ground. We currently see him on the ground right now. I would really like to see some Soldier play on the high ground, maybe even with the Ana.
Might not see it with the Nano onto Avian from Diamond Dog, because Avian's unable to even get an elimination from it. Instead, Lyric's going to take down Diamond Dog, could be followed by Panda Squad, getting their refrag onto Lyric. Now Avian with the Pulse Bomb and the Gambler takes him down. Now Bonesaw taking down KJ. And the Death Blossom coming out from Panda Squad doesn't pick up anyone. Instead, AME's going to throw out their Pulse Bomb onto Avian. Panda Squad is able to get the refrag for his teammate, and finally the card's moving.
Uphill battle for the Everests. They definitely climbed the mountain there, but they did it against the Tornadoes. And considering their first map performance against the Tornadoes in the group stage, this almost feels like a completely different Everest. They have adjusted to the Tornadoes playstyle, and I believe that the longer this match will go on, the better the Everests will be prepared to counter the Tornadoes.
Yeah, and Bonesaw on the Soldier 76 hasn't been the huge playmaker we have seen just yet. Maybe he's waiting for the sides to Wamba combo with not Doomfist's Nano. Have to wait and see. But also, Gambler swapping off of the Winston onto the Doomfist.
And Bonesaw's going to go down to actually chum his thumb, no less. And with KJ and Diamond Dog going on as well, the Everests can't push, even though they are only down 1.
Tornadoes have been consistently targeting down the backline of the Everest, always taking down Diamond Dog and KJ first in almost every team fight, allowing Panda Squad to get into their backline and now take down Lyric on that Zenyatta. But the cart's still trying to move. Chumma's Fum just all out brawling forever until KJ is able to come back and throw down the Amplification Matrix, just trying to zone them away from the cart. But now AME is going to bring out his own Pulse Bomb to take down Avian. Tracer's just like throwing the Pulse Bombs either onto each other or Gambler. That's all we've seen so far.
You're right. And you know, it's much easier to put it onto Gambler than it is to put it onto AME or Avian.
Yeah, now Panda Squad able to finally take down Gambler, who was alive for very long. Once again, AME taking down Avian. It's the battle of the Tracers as Panda Squad is able to take down Not Doomfist. Now KJ take down Lyric. The sights are going to come out from Not Doomfist in the backline, dropping down to 47 HP, trying to run for his life. But Panda Squad's just going to teleport up top and solo Death Blossom his face down. That'll be the checkpoint.
The Tornadoes now do have massive respawn advantages, and with Bonesaw swapping over to the Cole Cassidy, he's decided he is really done with Avian and Panda Squad, in particular with that Cole Cassidy. Panda Squad and Avian will have to play a little bit more carefully than they otherwise would, and Gambler is going to swap over to that D.Va, offer a bit more team support instead of eliminations here, and hopefully the goal with D.Va is to try to eat some ultimates, especially perhaps this Amplification Matrix that's coming out, eat some of the damage from that.
Yeah, probably also looking to throw out that self-destruct right in their backline if they can. This is the point to do it right between those two doors. Will allow you to get a ton of cart progress, but it's the D.Va 1v1 as both now on the Cole Cassidy, taking down Avian and KJ. It's not Doomfist does take down the Immortality Field, and Bonesaw now on a triple, taking down Diamond Dog. Will finally get taken down by Chumma's Fun with the refrag. But that's having to be a clean reset for the Everests.
That was also right outside of their spawn, so it doesn't actually cost the Tornadoes a lot that Bonesaw was eliminated right outside of their spawn. He will be back before the next full engage here, even as Panda Squad eliminates AME.
Yeah, you do have to remember, this is a best of 5 this time, not a best of 3, so Tornadoes will not win after this map if they're able to bring it out here. But
Oh, wow, that's
with
both
a
supports.
ton of damage coming out into both supports, Tornadoes, no backline to keep them alive. Everest continue pushing this cart forward, might get the 3rd checkpoint on Numbani, no less. Avian finally able to demag Gambler, but not get the elimination as Diamond Dog takes down AME. And then Transcendence comes out for Lyric. This is almost a near mirror match right now, except for the Cole Cassidy and the Reaper, and they get 3rd checkpoint on Numbani.
With 43 seconds remaining, and considering how they did the last time they fought the Tornadoes, the Everest have really kind of like elevated themselves, gotten themselves to a completely new level than where they were before. And on Numbani, I would really like to see on defense, I think their best bet is instead of flanking, I think they want to try to maintain that high ground control first point. Maybe with an Orisa, though she is very different in Overwatch 2, so I think a Monkey would probably be the better pick there. Diva's also serviceable just because she can get in between all the other high grounds, but Monkey has been proven much more effective at diving in and eliminating things. We could see a Soldier on the side of defense. That's something that could get a lot of value here, or even the Echo that they're coming out with. It does look like they are going to try to flank with that Reaper, but both of their supports are definitely going to want that high ground.
Yeah, Echo no pocket mercy. Also surprised we haven't seen a Wrecking Ball yet. Typically we see a Wrecking Ball on Numbani a lot of the times because, as you mentioned, can get to high low ground very quick, get the picks, get out quickly, so. Or even Doomfist for that matter. I mean, he does work very well here, and we did just see Tornadoes bring out their own Doomfist, and he excelled.
We really need to take a moment of silence for its Gambler against the Echo Reaper here, especially with that Zenyatta. I truly think that Roadhog is probably the worst tank they could have picked going into that Discord Orb, going into the Reaper, going into the Echo Beam.
So this is perfect time for Gambler to prove you wrong, and Tornadoes just hard hold here, right?
I mean, that'd be cool, but several people would have to not do their job for this Roadhog to get value.
Yeah, we will have to wait and see, as they are immediately going for the high ground as a tightly knit push as a team, no less. This is something we haven't seen because normally it's just been brawl, brawl, and brawl.
And we do actually have Mercy and A&E going mid instead of going in that top Cassidy trying to get some eliminations. Panda Squad is weak.
Yeah, Avian's very low as well, just kind of waiting for Zenyatta, look behind you. Look behind you. Just give me the orb, please.
Oh my god. That's exactly the dialogue that was happening.
Yep, 100%. You just know the team comes for it. Please. How about now? 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 Instead, he just gets eliminated by AME on that Soldier 76. And they might get this point first team fight as AME even takes down KJ as well as Diamond now on a triple. This Roadhog's working out right now as he's just been sitting on point this whole time. Chum is unable to really decide where to hold, gets taken down, as well as Panda Squad, who had just come back, taken down by not Doomfist. That might just be the point in team fight number 1.
The Everest didn't get the Reaper on the Roadhog, they didn't get the Discord Orb on the Roadhog, and actually the bigger problem that they were facing was AME on that Soldier 76, and I do expect Visor to come out, preferably with a Mercy damage boost, so it'll be up to Chum is Fun to see how much damage they can eat of that going into this next fight.
Yeah, Lyric never left AME's side that entire fight. It was just, here's right click and nothing else. And it worked out for them. The card's being moved, and they have 4:45 on the clock, as even Gambler's getting aggressive here as the Roadhog. And
oh my gosh.
25, 17 health survives. Everest just not being able to get that elimination. Self-destruct able to pick him up. Just too fat to hide around the corner, I guess, as KJ takes down AME. Battle Mercy coming out from Lyric, taking down Diamond Dog. Went for the res, got denied by KJ. And Everest finally win a team fight.
It feels like that res was more of like a, I'm going to reset and I want them to hit me, so I'm going to try to res, because there's no way Lyric thought they could do that. They were in the middle of the entire enemy team there. And we do see it's Gambler going back to the point, and we also have Bonesaw with that Bob, so they could launch that onto KJ and Diamond Dog in the back and tell him good luck.
I mean, it's a strategy. It could definitely work, but they'll have to deal with the death boss first. As both supports get taken down by Panda Squad. Good target prioritization. Also taking down the tank. 2 DPS left. Chumbus Bum takes down AME, looking to take down Bonesaw, but Bob is there to save the day. and not really do that much, but that's another reset.
And that fight, we saw the Everests counter the Roadhog really, really nicely. They got the Reaper right on him with the Discord Orb. And after the Death Blossom and both supports down, the Everests just took that fight. With this next fight, can't really tell what's going on. Avian's going to duplicate Roadhog and maybe get some eliminations here. Panda Squad is going in with that Reaper, trying to get as much damage as they possibly can. This fight is just going in that corner. Hook comes out from both teams. Avian's going to get the elimination on its Gambler, which is really, really big. They need to try to deny that Mercy Res. They were unable to hard commit. Good job, Lyric.
Yeah, now, the great sleep to deny the Deadeye. Valkyrie did come out from Lyric. Now Battle Mercy gets Diamond Dog in the back line. I see it's happening.
Got it.
No, gets Avian instead as
Avian
Gambler takes down Diamond Dog. Now Bone's not taking down Chama's Thumb. That's practically a team wipe, I would call it, for the Tornadoes. But Everest have been holding them back very well.
Lyric is having a field day on that Mercy. Let me just tell you, Pops Vout gets an elimination, and that's just how it's been so far. At this point, the Tornadoes have to do something about that Reaper ultimate, and they don't have a lot of options. They have the Flashbang, just like that, to eliminate Panda Squad, or they have the Hook, but they have nothing that can eat and nothing to sustain.
Yeah, they also need to deal with the Nano Diva coming out here. She does have 700 health now, so Nano Diva is a bit of a threat, but they're make sure to demech her as quickly as possible, forcing out the self-destruct that gets nobody, sadly. Said not Doomfist taking down Diamond Dog in the backline, but Avian coming in with the Genji gets a 2-piece, make that a 3, taking down, make that a 4-piece, and that's another wipe for the Everests.
And it will take the Tornadoes a little bit more than this to try to cap that point, and they're walking into a Death Blossom, likely from the high ground onto the low ground.
They also have to deal with the Transcendence to keep the Death Blossom alive, and they don't have a sleep to counter it that Diamond Dog did against the Deadeye.
Yep. They don't have anything other than a Cole Cassidy flashbang, or now they don't even have the hook, but they can eat the damage, which is big for the Tornadoes. Its Gambler will have to stay in that mech, and they're having a hard time with that Discord Orb.
Oh, in comes the Bob, and the Death Blossom doesn't get one. Neither gets one. Bob ends up getting slept. The Transcendence coming out. Now the Deadeye coming out looking for the Sleep Dart, maybe? Instead, Bonesaw will get the Dynamite elimination against Avian as first blood of this team fight. Hey, the Valkyrie coming out from Lyric. The Damage Mercy going up against Panda Squad, dropping him down to 30 HP, is going to get healed up ever so slightly by his teammates. But the melee against Diamond Dog. Lyric, you are the best. Mercy, I love you, as KJ finally takes him down, but not Doomfist. Bones are going to get the refrags on to the Reaper and the Zenyatta as Avian takes down Bones up. A Gambler and AME are there to finish them off and finally get the checkpoint.
The Tornadoes do have a push. Avian has Blade, so it's unlikely they'll win the next fight unless they get a Cole Cassidy flashbang. But that Genji will also probably be sent in with an orb, so it'll take just a little bit more than that to eliminate him if he dives in.
But now Bonesaw on the Bastion, which could be a little bit of a game changer. Bastion is really kind of the go-to for this final checkpoint, but up against Chama's Thumb.
I would really like to see Bonesaw on the Bastion flank. And I don't advocate for Bastion flanks very often, but I think Bonesaw is definitely a player that could make it work. And you see him over there. You see him over there with the Baptiste. Bonesaw is in your backline, on your flank, camping your spawn, and hasn't gotten any eliminations yet, just because nobody is peeking that corner.
I mean, Tornadoes are about to run out of their time advantage, but Andy really popping off here. Gets the Zenyatta and the Genji +1 in this fight, as they do end up losing Bonesaw to Panda Squad now on the Hanzo. Shimada Brothers coming out for the Everest right now as the Nano even comes out. No eliminations come from him. Instead, the Self-Destruct's going to come out in the backline, not pick up anybody.
Oh,
so Everest's going to answer it with his own Self-Destruct, taking down Panda Squad as he also got eliminated. And so that's just a trade for those two, as AME continuing his rampage on this Cole Cassidy, taking down Chama's Thumb, and KJ trying to get at this final point, but now losing the time advantage.
They got him.
Not Doomfist, though, able to take down Avian. Now it's just an all-out brawl for these last final seconds because no one's going for the clean reset. Instead, Lyric with another Battle Mercy. Let's go, taking down KJ and AME, taking down Diamond Dogs with Bonesaw taking down Panda Squad. The blade coming out from Avian, trying to just maintain, even with the deflect, still gets taken down by Amy, who also took down Chama's Fum. And with it being overtime, they get that extra minute. So the Everest have that bonus 41 seconds.
Which wasn't really what we were expecting when this rematch of the grand finals came out. But I think they've been doing a phenomenal job of countering Bonesaw. I don't think on Numbani, Bonesaw was able to do nearly as much as they wanted. I think they were especially on that Ashe, it felt like they didn't really get any value. And Bonesaw is a person that we've seen, like, team wipe on Ashe, right? So they're doing a phenomenal job at denying Bonesaw any value. Though I will say, in terms of elimination, Lyric is picking up a little bit of the slack on that battle. There is consistently one elimination per Valk every time they Valk. And they Valk almost every other fight.
Makes me happy.
And they're almost guaranteed to kill somebody, which is very interesting. We do have the Sigma coming out, which is a good pick, not only for the Bastion, but also as a potential pocket target for that Mercy. I think the Tornadoes are just trying to hunker down and see what eliminations they can get before the Everests walk on them.
Lyric, you are a player of the game in my heart. Forever and always. Anytime I see a battle, Mercy just puts a smile on my face, but I mean, he always goes in on Diamond Dog, which is exactly what he should do as this. I know. And the fact that Diamond Dog usually has to commit the sleep before the Valkyrie comes out, or there's a higher target priority. And so you can't sleep it. You can't anti to get the elimination because she has infinite ammo. It's honestly a really good wombo combo for Lyric. And now Bonesaw continuing his reign of Rampage on an attack Bastion. New meta?
And I think their goal here is, again, to just set everybody up main is what it looks like. So what I'd really like...
Skating Bastion.
I would really like to see maybe that Bastion attempt to go high ground. I don't think mid is where Bonesaw is going to get the most value. AME is going to get a lot of value, though, with that Dynamite onto Chum's Fun. Bonesaw is just going to get melted down.
Good trade.
Panda Squad doing a good job.
Ooh, but the res, though, coming out onto AME. Okay.
Bonesaw was a little too far in the res, I think.
Ooh, that
Panda Squad's gonna
ragdoll
do it
sent their
again.
body flying. Panda Squad on this Hanzo is really coming alive here on the defense, especially as Chum's Fum also gets the elimination onto Lyric. And now even Avian taking down not Doomfist. Tornado's losing a lot of steam here. Even losing Gambler to Avian as well. That's a double, and that's it.
I think the low ground Bastion play mid was not the move. I think if they had set that Bastion up high ground, they would have had a much better shot. Because the point of playing a shield with Bastion is that you shield the Bastion, right? And Panda Squad can't just immediately auto-eliminate him. Because even though he can move now in turret form, Hanzo still is a hard counter to Bastion because he doesn't move as fast as he normally does, and he has a pretty big hitbox, and Hanzo can just infinitely spam him down.
Also, no Symmetra for the Bastion either, just to go from high ground to high ground very quickly because he doesn't really have that mobility. Was interesting choices being made on the side of the Tornadoes. I mean, Tornadoes had a dominating performance the first time they faced the Everest in the group stage, and now here in finals, after the Everest, I almost want to say, really came into their own against the Tsunamis, bringing back against the Tornadoes in this best of 5. They're looking to take Numbani on their side and bring us to a map 4.
I think this is drawable. I think a draw is the most likely outcome, but I think they also definitely have the opportunity to win this just because not even a single tick was taken, right? But because the times are so close, I think the defense that the Everests did, I think that strong defense can easily be turned against them, against the Tornadoes, because they only have about 3 fights.
Yeah, and they can make it happen, but Bonesaw falling down to about 50 HP is probably not the best way to start it. We'll end up having to get healed up by Lyric, and with Lyric trying to heal up Bonesaw means that AME will get eliminated, forcing out the rest, and now Lyric gets eliminated. So you are now down a healer on defense against the Everest, who are continuing their push forward with the D.Va to contest the high ground.
Panda Squad has been popping off. It feels like Panda Squad wasn't necessarily warm the last time these two teams faced, and now he is, and now they're just gonna
like
win.
That.
And they just did a phenomenal job. AME got a little bit too aggressive on that, their Echo got a little too aggressive, and Mercy went to get the res, but was still looking at the Hanzo. so immediately got eliminated as well, and that won them the fight. Once your Mercy goes down, that's basically it. First point, Numbani.
Yeah, so pretty solid comeback, I would say, from the Everest. I mean,
yeah.
I almost want to say it was also very much on the back of Panda Squad for the first hold on that Hanzo, just completely uncontested. Like, he was even on the ground, not even so much the high ground for a lot of that fight, and was just landing arrow after arrow. And Bonesaw a bit misplaced, as we mentioned multiple times, on the Bastion, staying on the ground at the high ground. Seems just a lot of micromanaged errors from the Tornadoes cost him Numbani. So that's going to have us head into map 3 in this best of 5. Map 3, I believe, is going to be Dorado.
Which is another map that Hanzo can be pretty dominant on. There's lots of high ground for Hanzo to take advantage of, and lots of just places for the Hanzo to spam, right? Especially on first point before you get into that bridge. Hanzo can just spam down at you into the street. So I think Panda Squad will be in a pretty good position to attempt to carry this as well. And I really don't think the Tornadoes are respecting Panda Squad on that Hanzo at all. And it's getting all of their members eliminated.
Yeah, it seems they very much focus on eliminating the backline as quickly as they can, but the DPS is just getting so much value that Bonesaw's now on main tank?
Lyric is on Cole Cassidy.
And
its Gambler has moved over to the Zenyatta.
All right, so huge comp swamps for the Tornadoes. Might be the difference for them here with Bonesaw just saying, all right, I'll take the main tank role, whereas Everest are kind of staying true to what they know and gonna get first blood in this fight against Lyric with KJ taking him down.
Bonesaw on this monkey is trying to dive in and get eliminations with his team there to support him, and they couldn't get there.
Yeah, finally AME is able to get a little bit of momentum going for his team, able to take down Panda Squad, I believe that was. But with them having spawn advantage, they'll just continue to push the cart very much past Archway. It will finally get stopped as AME's able to take down Amy. Now Gambler on the Zenyatta takes down Diamond Dog. Now Doomfist taking down KJ with the nade, no less. Now Shaman's Fum taking down Gambler. Lyric with the beam, able to match Shaman's Fum. Amy finally wins that engagement against Panda Squad. And finally, a clean reset for both teams.
That soldier on the high ground is going to be a menace to the Everest, especially with that Ana as well. I expect a nanovisor to come out from the high ground that will probably, and then AME, if they get eliminations, they'll probably chase them down with the nanovisor. And Chum's Fum will eventually run out of DM to E.
No, it's
on the monkey,
who immediately gets slept and woken up, and so he gets the elimination against a Diamond Dog, who put him to sleep, so hopefully he wasn't the one to wake him up. So Bonesaw with that nano is also going to get the elimination on to Avian, brings out the Primal Rage to knock the Diva off the edge, who is still in mech, no less, and that's the end of their push. It just cost them a single 2 ults.
And if you're, what I would really like to see from the Everest to try to break this hold is, first of all, Panda Squad on that Hanzo needs to get some eliminations, especially with that Pocket Mercy, but also Blade could be big here if he jumps into the right draw, and that's pretty big. That first DPS elimination.
From Panda Squad, no less, who's on the Hanzo. I mean, it's his go-to. Now they even have 4 ultimates in their 2-0 kit, so they're going to kick things up with the Dragon Blade coming out from Avian, forcing out the Transcendence from Gambler as well. Now also KJ, he brought out his own Transcendence. Amy has yet to use the visor, and as soon as Lyric gets the duplicate, brings it out onto the Diva, Double Dragons comes out from Panda Squad, is unable to land onto anyone. Instead, he's going to get taken down by Bonesaw. As Diamond Dog comes in with the Res, who is quickly eliminated by Lyric with the Diva Bomb. Amy's still holding on to the visor. Still.
I think the biggest problem the Everest had there was they didn't all jump in together. Like, some of their members were pushing, but some of their members were still off taking 1v1s or doing who knows what. And so they didn't have a full 5. They were up 2 and still lost that fight because they didn't push together.
Finally, the sights comes out as well as the Nano. So the Nano Visor is out, gets one, gets two. Lyric's able to pick up one, and KJ Bonesaw gets one as well. And the Panda Squad with Amy only getting a double, but with this being 5v5, 4 out of 5 members is still pretty dang good.
There's the Nano Visor we were talking about. It's like a minute and 30 seconds late, but that's the exact Nano Visor from the high ground that we were describing.
I don't know if the Everest have enough in their toolkit to bring it back. They only have self-destruct, and Chubba's is very low. Panda Squad's about to go down. Avian does.
Yikes.
As the Immortality Field wasn't unable to keep him alive. Boneside picks him up, Amy picks up KJ. Transcendence comes out from Gambler. But KJ had the Amplification Matrix, unable to bring it out. Self-destruct came out from Chubba's Squad, didn't land onto anyone. Panda Squad picks up 2 now on the Reaper. Lyric, though, also picks up 2. Bonesaw picks up Panda Squad. Avian takes down Amy, but with no one able to get to Cart, they're not even able to get to checkpoint number 1.
This feels like a almost unwinnable defense, because usually on Dorado, when you have that amount of time, you should be at least able to cap point 1. This is a tall ask for the next attacking team to try to just this is a tall ask for the defenders to defend point 1. If they want to do that, their rotations are going to have to be the biggest thing, because rotations on point 1 Dorado are what fail most teams and end up getting them eliminated. So normally you want to start holding right on that high ground, right? Because why wouldn't you? You get free shots at them as they're trying to move the cart through street. But then once they get to arch, you have to move back into courtyard. And everybody needs to do that together, or you're going to get eliminated and lose the fight. So the key to the defenders here is making that rotation successfully.
So all eyes are going to be on the Everests here. I mean, they only got 85.26 meters to the first checkpoint, whereas the Tornadoes just have to beat them there, and they have, what, 5 minutes to do it? So Everest are really going to have to play out of their minds here. They do have Diamond Dog this time on the Mercy, with KJ taking over the honor roll.
Hopefully AME doesn't swap to Tracer.
5, 4, 3.
The attack Torb instead is going to go over to the Ash, with Lyric now on the Echo. AME still deciding which sniper he wants to play. Hovered on the Widow for a little bit, but Bonesaw also on the Doomfist, trying to disrupt the backline.
And Bonesaw is a DPS. When they were a DPS, Bonesaw had great success on that Doomfist, so I expect no less from the tank. But the Tornadoes don't really have a front line. Oh my gosh, Diamond Dog going down first might spell disaster for the Everests here.
Yeah, immediately applying pressure onto Lyric after taking down the Mercy. And unless someone from the Everest has to retreat so Mercy can come back that much quicker, they're going to have to hold out of their minds here, as Lyric able to pick up the other support. Yeah, as you mentioned, no support in this fight. This might spell doom, as Lyric's just popping off on this Echo right now. They're on a triple right now.
And it does look like that Mercy is back, but the Ana will not be back for another couple of seconds here.
That
so
long walk back is brutal.
Not Doomfist getting the elimination on Panda Squad. I think now is the time to push if you're the Tornadoes.
Yeah, they're just now getting their healers back, but they're down their main DPS, who now swapped over to a Tracer.
And there is still a single member
running out of time. 240 left on the board. Valkyrie comes out from Diamond Dog. Keep his main tank alive, but Lyric wins the Battle of the Echoes again with the beam to burn down Avian. Now the Nano coming out from KJ onto Chumba's Fun to keep him alive. Lyric with another elimination onto KJ. They unable to prevent the res from Diamond Dog to bring back KJ. Able to demek Chumba's Fun though, as Panda Squad finally ends Lyric's reign of terror, but KJ is able to take down Bonesaw. Now Doomfist still in the fight, takes down the Baby Diva Chumba's Fun. AME just kind of chilling in the corner with a nice shot from that Doomfist, takes down Avian. Now Bob coming in, set up in the backline, trying to push this cart the best they can. Lyric gets another elimination against KJ. Bob even picks up one on Diamond Dog. It's just all-out stall for the Everest, even bringing out the self-destruct, as AME's on a triple here to take down Chumba's Fun Panda Squad. That might be the end of it, with Avian being the last remaining member, even bringing out the Transcendence. Tornadoes take Dorado.
It felt like with that first pick onto the Mercy, that kind of spelled how the rest of the round was going to go, right? Their Mercy was just a little bit too aggressive, or not aggressive, but a little bit not very careful, flying between team members across that high ground there, and the Tornadoes are good. They're gonna catch you in that rotation. And then everybody else backed out, but KJ couldn't get out fast enough just in that rotations like we were talking about. They couldn't rotate to courtyard from high ground fast enough to stay alive, and so Lyric just got both supports, and then at that point it was just a matter of keeping somebody on the cart while you continued to roll the rest of their team.
Yeah, I mean, for that final push, it's without question Lyric was the MVP of that, because they practically got every elimination on that Echo, and nobody else on their team was just distracting on the ground. I mean, they played around their Echo, and that was their win condition, and they took it. So now we're headed to a map 4. It is match point for the Tornadoes to dethrone the Everest as the reigning champs, because the Everest came into this as the underdogs. They did very well on map 1. Map 2, they did just as well, but now into map 3, they took a very hard loss on Dorado. Map 4 being Ilios of Control. Everest, this is where you bring it all out, because you're about to lose your crown.
It almost feels like, I don't know who to think of the underdogs as, because the Everests lost to the Tornadoes the first time and then are rematching them in the grand finals, but the Everests are also the team that has won every other Esports Tower Rumble. So it's almost like, who's the real underdog here? Like, whose story are we looking for? AME on that Sombra, that's going to be huge.
Yeah, looking for first blood, going for a get engaged. Now, newcomer Pando's going to be the main tank for the Tornadoes, swapping out here. No longer Bonesaw is going to be on the side. So Panda Squad's going to take down Amy, with Avian taking down Lyric. No DPS for the side of the Tornadoes.
Pando does get Panda Squad. Not Doomfist gets remeked on. Oof. That is a 1-for-1 trade for both of these teams. Still in the fight. Nobody's been able to cap point yet, but you got to think maybe this is going the Everest's way just because they have more members.
They've been running away with it so far as Diamond Dog takes down Gambler and continue that push forward. This is where you want to see them start holding them at their spawn, even taking down Chama's Foam, taking down AME on that Sombra. Must have not been invisible.
AME is doing a fantastic job at charging this Sombra ult, especially because they got eliminated first. 81%, that's huge for a first fight, especially because her ult now takes longer to charge, and so it's harder to do things like this.
Yeah, now looking for this next team fight, able to pick up the main tank. Pando goes down. That's what happens when you bring a Winston into a Reaper for sure, but Lyric's trying to bring the fight back to the point to give his team some space. Does have the pulse mode to try to pick up at least one elimination. And I mean, it's 3 ults to 3 ults right now. 4th coming online for both sides. Tornadoes have all 5 built up.
So I understand why they're on the monkey. I think that maybe a swap to Ball or Diva might be beneficial just because Avian's been catching them out. But you know, it doesn't really matter because the Tornadoes are up 3, one of which is Avian on that Reaper. So Panda is now uncontested.
Tornadoes entering that fight with the Coalescence really paid off for them. I mean, they had to commit 3 ults to win a single team fight and get control of the point. It cost them 61% though. Everest have a nice little breathing room here.
And the Everest, I will say, they have 6 ultimates, so now the challenge is not to use them all at once. That's 2, that's 3.
Trying to match what the side of the Tornadoes have as Pando brings out the Primal Rage.
Teleports back, just barely.
Play of the game right there, if you ask me, keeping himself alive. But point will finally go over to the Everest after committing exactly 3 ults. New meta of Overwatch 2, commit 3 ults, win team fight.
They did save the Blade and they did save the Bomb, which is what which is good. They could win a fight off of that Blade. They just need to get that Genji in the fight.
All eyes are going to be on Pando as AME actually pops up with a 2-piece onto Chama's Bump as well as Avian. Tries to poop him off the edge, but not. Doofus is going to get the elimination onto KJ with Lyric throwing out the pulse bomb onto Diamond Dog. Now Pando taking that on Panda Squad. Tornadoes get the point back.
Amy is looking for somebody, just waiting for them to peek them. Panda Squad, you got to think on that Genji. Widow might be their first primary dive target, unless Doomfist uses their Fade first.
It's going to be all about that ability usage. Lyric falls down to half HP, but Panda Squad quickly eliminated as soon as he brings out the Dragon Blade by Lyric, who gets a 2-piece onto KJ as well. Looking to take down Diamond Dog, who is able to pick up that health pack and heal just in time. Instead, Avi is just going to take down AME with
Wow.
Thomas Fum taking down Lyric. Got a little bit too aggressive there, I might have guessed. Now looking to try to resecure the point as the percentages are getting more and more even by the second.
Amy's going to commit that infra site, which gives them a little bit of utility here, but isn't actually going to help them win that fight as Coalescence is coming down onto the point. No eliminations yet, but they are desperately trying to eliminate Avian, who's going to get out with like 30 HP and get that health pack. AME wins the Battle of the Widowmakers against Panda Squad, but Panda Squad got Lyric first. Panda's going to jump right onto KJ, and that is pretty big. Now they just have to try to keep Diamond Dog up, who's weak and their only support going into this fight. Pando wins against the Reaper with a little bit of assistance from AME and the rest of his team. And at this point, the Everest are just trying to get members on point. Coalescence comes out, is unable to get any eliminations or keep anybody alive. KJ just can't run from Pando fast enough on that Lucio. They'll go down. Aggro Sound Barrier will come out. AME's going to lose that Battle of the Widowmakers, but Lyric's going to immediately take Panda Squad down for that and get the huge pulse onto Chumis Fum. And at this point, it's just a solo Tracer trying to cause chaos. And Avian made a valiant effort, but I think that is point going over to the Tornadoes.
Everest need to win the next 2 maps in order to bring us to a map 5 in this best of 5. Tornadoes, they're on match point here, even for control. I mean, the beautiful play that was of Primal Raged Winston knocks you off, goes off with you, and you can teleport back in time and live? You're one lucky Reaper.
That was funny. You had the teleport on, got it immediately. It was a joy to watch. And now as we go over to the second point, AME might struggle a little bit on that Widowmaker, especially against that. It looks like they're
Needed to
going for the
swap
Reaper,
there for
which
sure.
is good.
But no Roadhog, so no one's looking to hook into the well or the Orisa. Orisa's someone we typically see on well a lot.
Panda Squad is back on that Pharah, and the ET Tornadoes have absolutely no answer to that, especially if that Pharah is hard-pocketed. So Panda Squad should be set up here to get a ton of eliminations.
Tornadoes also don't have a main healer of the Break and the Lucio, so they're going to be playing for very scrappy. Ami's going to be needing to deal damage after damage to keep himself alive. Panda goes right into the backline onto this Diva, trying to knock her into the hole. Almost does, but she has the boosters to fly away. Now it's just ring around the Rosie.
Chumis Fum is taken very weak, but luckily is able to sustain by walking into KJ.
Ooh.
AME's teleported to the high ground, going after that Pharah. Gets it. That's always a funny play when the Reaper's able to take out the Pharah, and Mercy is unable to get in there for that res because they are camping that body.
Yeah, now Chumis Fum able to take down that Doomfist, quickly followed by Gambler. Her with the right-click elimination onto the Baby Diva. AME's even able to finish off Diamond Dog as well as Lyric taking down KJ. This should be the point for the Tornadoes as Avian has to suicide off the edge for the reset.
But they still have no answer to that Pharah other than Reaper TPing high ground. And, you know, apparently a pulse bomb, however that happened. The res is going to come out, and Diamond Dog luckily lives through the res. Panda Squad, as long as they watch the Reaper teleports, that Pharah is uncontested and hard-pocketed, so I'd really like to see them get some value. But it's Avian that's going to get value with an elimination onto Pando.
Yeah, they are +1 in this fight. No main tank for the side of the Tornadoes as not Doomfist on that break, getting value to deny the Tracer play from Avian. This should be the point in their favor. Just need to get the remaining 2 members of the Tornadoes off the point as Amy once again being the anti-air that they need to take down Panda Squad and keep the Mercy on the ground as there she goes, taken down by Lyric. The Pulse Bomb coming out will end up missing, not even eaten by the Diva. Now D-Mech, Chumis Fum going down promptly by Amy, and Panda taking down KJ. 50% in closing. Everest running out of time to stay in this match.
I think a Cole Cassidy might benefit them a little bit instead of perhaps either the Tracer or the Pharah. The Pharah on paper in this comp looks great, but so far has been taken out by the Reaper teleporting to high ground. Both fights they've had, and with 67% and climbing on the side of the Tornadoes to just win this.
The solo barrage? All right, Panda Squad, we get it. You don't like not Doomfist.
On no support, though, that's pretty solid. AME is on your Mercy from the sky.
Great boop as Pando brings out the Meteor Strike to try. Oh
my
okay.
gosh.
Calculated. Just some very technical play coming out from both sides right now.
Diamond Dogs committing the Valkyrie, and understandably so. This is final fight, and we just need to eliminate some people. But with 11% and climbing, Panda Squad has finally won the Everest to fight.
He's waiting for Panda Squad to show.
I hope he sees him. I hope
Okay.
Panda Squad sees him. And it looks like he does now, so AME is going to have to find some other place to camp.
Amy's on a mission right now to just eliminate poor old Panda Squad here.
gosh.
Or Diamond Dog, as the self-destruct does come out from Chama's Farm, and Pando ends up trading out for Chama's Farm game, taken down by Avian, but now not Doomfist takes down Avian. So Tornadoes are +1 in this fight, make that +2, taking down KJ, winning the grind battle. Amy once again takes down Panda Squad, must have run out of fuel to stay in the air. Now Diamond Dog, the last remaining member, tries to bring it to Battle Mercy, gets eliminated 92% and closing. Everest, this is do or die. They're about to lose their first grand finals.
And they do almost have Rocket Barrage, so they have a chance as long as they get somebody to touch that point. And with AME popping the Death Blossom on point, Avian and Kirsten are going to go down, but the Barrage is going to come out, get to. Panda Squad is also going to immediately die after that. And at this point, Chama's Fum is going to go down. It's just Diamond Dog with Solar Mercy on the point, but the Tornadoes easily clean that up.
Yeah, Lyric committed the pulse bomb to D-Mech the Diva, which secured them the win after losing so many members. So the Tornadoes are the new Grand Finals champions, taking down the Everest after some big roster change-ups. Everest had a rough start, brought it back, beat the Tsunamis, came to the Grand Finals to take down the Tornadoes, and were able to get at least one map off of them, but Tornadoes, at the end of the day, came out on top. So they're going to come away with their first grand finals in week 3 of the Spring Rumble. Well, if you want to be seen by expert college recruiters, talk directly to esports industry insiders like pro athletes, team general managers, and game producers, then join the club. Esports Tower players get insider access to industry insights with our featured Rumbles. Recruiters are taking notice as well. It's a great way to score exposure, and if you're looking to start your path to pro or land a collegiate scholarship, make sure to check them out at esportstower.com. Well, with a pretty exciting final grand finals, we had 2 amazing best of 3s that were pretty solidly 2-0 sweeps, but grand finals, Everest tried to come back and ultimately came up with a loss. Have to ask, who's player of the game? I mean, in my heart, it'll always be Battle Mercy Lyric, of course, but as a legitimate player of the game, your choice.
So other than Bonesaw, I would like to highlight Panda Squad specifically. Just take Ilios out, perhaps. Like,
Okay.
take out when they were getting countered by the Reaper. But other than that, Panda Squad did a phenomenal job, especially on that Hanzo. I would say Panda Squad had an amazing highlight reel for Hanzo for player of the game.
But Bonesaw.
I mean, yes, you can always highlight Bonesaw.
Bonesaw's been just the most go-to for these Esports Tower Rumbles, being that kind of quintessential player. But, again, you want to highlight the back line. Lyric doing very well. Not Doomfist, of course, keeping Bonesaw alive again and again and again. Gambler doing very well in the tank for the longest time as well. I mean, most of the roster of the Tornadoes did very well. Well, as you mentioned, Panda Squad for the side of the Everest kept things in the game. I mean, could really go either way. We'll have to wait and see who production decides as the player of the game for the most play is as we take a look. Who is highlighting Panda Squad? And it's gonna be! You called it!
It is! We got it!
I mean, they opened up with the Symmetra and just really carried the Everest through a lot of these team fights, being that quintessential DPS. But, of course, we want to highlight Avian as well, just being that secondary, playing the Bastion again and again and again, showing us a lot of those new abilities and what they look like. But Panda Squad is going to be the player of the game, brought to you by the Idaho Central Credit Union, who believes a great player makes a team more successful, just like Idaho Central's helping members achieve financial success. Panda Squad 7 is going to be the Idaho Central Credit Union player of the game.
And as you can see from these Pharah plays, this is not like a bad Pharah that was getting hard countered by a Reaper. They were doing a fantastic job. Their rockets were accurate. They were they were constantly assaulting the ground troops. And even with this blade here, they get the double kill. It didn't really matter who Panda Squad was on. I mean, I think they got the biggest value on Hanzo because that's when they were truly the most oppressive and uncounterable. But I think no matter what hero you gave them, they did a phenomenal job.
All right, well, as we get ready to close out our Week 3 Spring Rumble, any big takeaways as we've seen kind of this new Overwatch 2 blooming brawl meta?
Doomfist is interesting because Doomfist doesn't provide really like anything for the front line at all. Like he's a tank now and that helps him live longer. But like Diva can somewhat protect her team. Monkey can somewhat protect her team. Doomfist can't do any of that, and so it feels like even though he switched over to the tank role, your worth as a Doomfist player is still kind of determined by how many eliminations you can get and how much disruption you can do.
Well, we do want to offer congratulations to all the teams on a very exciting Week 3 Spring Rumble in Overwatch, and kind of a sneak peek of what maybe the Overwatch 2, and it's, of course, very exciting as Esports Tower is hoping to do more of this once the Tornadoes come down from kind of their winning high, if you want to say, because taking down the Everest of the reigning champs is a huge feat, and you know they are celebrating that. So huge congratulations all around, but you know their rivalry is brewing now, especially with how many of their players swapped. They're going to come back with a vengeance. So you'll have to wait and stay tuned for next week, Tuesday, 6 p.m. EST, for our Week 4 of the Overwatch Spring Rumble. But we're going to close tonight out with the top 5 plays presented by the Idaho Army National Guard, who invites you to take your impressive critical thinking skills into real time with more than 10 jobs offering a $20,000 sign-on bonus. They're the best team to join out there, and make sure to reach out to them on Twitch at iGuard Gaming, and have a good night. On the main heels, but they do have not Doofus now on the Moira, bringing out the sights for AME as well as Triplet with the rally to keep himself alive. But Mapsy is able to get the elimination onto Panda Squads. It seems Tornadoes are doing their best to hold him here, as Not Doomfist also gets the elimination onto the Baby Divas. Chuma's Bladon gets the elimination reset based off the cooldown. It's based off of how much time there is there, and it's just slowing built up over time. All right. So, but a Roadhog tank now with the Nano gets taken down by Avian, who did get antied as well with 19 health and survives. Whoa, this is new. He's just a blind tank.
KJ on the Ana battle Ana doing a fantastic job. None of those were assisted either. That was just KJ popping off on that Ana.
No one respecting Ana's damage, I guess. Something never thought I would say, but sure, I'll take it.
Ooh, Blank got there through some amazing plays by Pan.
Amy finishing up KJ. I mean, they're coming back with a vengeance and getting a lot of those picks that they need. Oh, bad timing on that blade, but he got what he needed. You know, the famous Genji needs healing. Did just sit there and wait for it. He's looking for Avian as well. Obviously got the elimination. Ooh, ate the grab from Bladon, but
Diva as the main tank. This is a complete mirror matchup, and with Avian going down first, that might spell doom for the Everest.
Oh, quickly trading out as Panda Squad takes down Blank. So it's been 1-for-1 so far. Both immortality fields go down. Instead, KJ's going to try to swing the fight in their favor, taking down Mango as well as Panda Squad taking down Dark. Now Diamond Dot taking down Sweat.